Okay. Let's find out what that is. Do some RFC? Yeah, I know. We're going to do our best, okay? Okay. Run an ad for us?
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Warcraft news. With patch 8.3 hitting Blizzard CDN, this sure is to be an interesting week. And before I do the usual Patreon plug, I actually have announcements. Ooh. First, we have expanded. We are going to have a new editor coming on board in the coming weeks. He has nearly a decade of industry experience and will be able to bring skills to our production that, simply put, none of us on the team currently have.
So he's
with
a
two
wizard.
editors, we'll be able to hit all of our near-term content goals. You'll see a big quality increase on a bunch of videos, and generally it's a really exciting move, trust me. Now, on that topic, the complete history of World of Warcraft is our highest rated content. It's also our most expensive content to make. We're a team of 5, soon to be 6, and we make a silly number of videos a week. Now, that show's audience loves it. It's got really high ratings, but, well, that audience is about like half as large, a bit smaller actually, than say a cinematic reaction video, and it costs easily 10 times more to produce than a cinematic reaction.
That's why you see, that's why the quality and content in YouTube just keeps going down and down and down, is because it takes so much more time and effort to make high quality produced content, and even if it gets twice as many views, it takes 10 times as long to make, and so it's just not really worth it. That's why you keep having low quality content on YouTube, because that's the easiest and most cost efficient thing to do.
On top of, you know, the fact we're making like 10 plus videos a week across the 2 channels. Now, still, we want to make that content. It's what we love. We love it. We know that there's an audience that does love it, so we need a viable path forward, especially because we are soon going to be starting work on the complete story of World of Warcraft. And yes, that'll be every zone in the game, a massive, massive undertaking. So in order to actually be able to do all of that and do it on a regular basis, here's how it's going to work from now on. The complete history of World of Warcraft will premiere on Patreon a week before it hits YouTube. The Blood Plague special is actually up there right now. We'll also produce bonus feature content for each episode. That's extra thoughts that didn't fit the video, or, you know, it's a history style video, so sometimes there's personal opinion that just doesn't actually fit in that video. So things like that, interesting things we found along the way. You'll also get access to all of our content as soon as it's made. So if we finish a video early ahead of schedule, you know, it's a few days before it's scheduled to go up on YouTube, then we'll just throw it straight up onto Patreon. Now, that's just happened with the first episode of our Sylvanas series.
Look at her belly. I think she's getting fat. Look, I mean, look, I just noticed that right here. Look, she's getting fat, guys. No, am I wrong? Is she pregnant? With what? A corpse? Like, no, you can't. I'm pretty sure they can't get pregnant, okay? I'm like 90% sure. Yeah, it's fucking, yeah, Sylvanas is getting fat, guys. This is, oh man, what year is this, man?
And then, of course, once we get our second editor on board, that's something that should happen a lot more. So, the documentary-style content's going to be there first, and with our enhanced production capabilities, we'll be able to get more content there once it is done. You'll also get behind-the-scenes stuff, you'll get in the credits, there's even physical merch there each month, and of course, that physical merch, our master tier, which, by the way, is Priest for this month, is really the best way to help out what we're doing. So, we'll soon have doubled the team we had just 3 months ago, and we'll be able to produce content that we simply were not able to just a short time ago. So soon we'll have expansion announcements, we'll have betas to cover, and much more, all while we simultaneously document the history and the lore of World of Warcraft. Our future as a production team's never been better.
Dude, I can't wait until this fucking Blizzcon comes out, dude. Like, honestly, you know what I'm most excited for? This is gonna sound weird, might confuse some people. I'm most excited for fucking D4. I want to play D4, man. Straight up. Like, I really want to play fucking Diablo 4. It's gonna be amazing. I'm really excited.
And also, as a little thank you for sticking around so long for this announcement housekeeping bit of the video, our game, right, I can say to you, it's hit 45,000 words, and even though most of those 45,000 words are not implemented yet, we've got over an hour of gameplay, about an hour and a half, and all I'll say is internally it's been testing very well. So things are actually moving along quite swimmingly over
It'll
there.
be
And
the
with that,
announcement of an
let's get into the content. So patch 8.3 has been confirmed.
Okay.
Now, with 8.2.5 wrapping up the faction narrative, and I think many people remembering how Warlords of Draenor actually abandoned its final patch in order to get Legion out there a bit faster,
Smart,
there was
by the
a
way.
feeling out there that Blizzard were set to repeat history, to maybe cancel 8.3 and move straight on to 9.0. Well, the appearance of patch 8.3 on Blizzard's CDN, that's a content delivery now.
Man, they were obviously going to do 8.3. Anybody that fucking thinks that they're working to do 8.3 is an idiot. Blizzard has invested so much time and effort into the story, they have to carry it to term. Right? Even if the game wasn't doing very well, they've invested so much in it. Like, this is the culmination. Like, they've killed Sarfang over this. They've turned Sylvanas into a crazy person more so over this. Like, they have to do it. Everybody knew that we were going to get an 8.3. The fact is that BFA, for all of its faults, has gotten progressively better throughout all the patches, right? And so it started, like, let's say this is a good expansion. It started here. Then in 8.1, it went to, like, here, 8.1.5 here, 8.2 went to here, right? And maybe 8.3 will take it up to here. We'll see what happens. Maybe even up to here. We'll see what happens. But I think that each patch has made BFA better than it was before.
That pretty much disproves that and does also confirm the next patch. Now, Blizzard have not officially commented on this, which does make a lot of sense because development work that the dev team are doing and PR work that the PR people are doing, it doesn't often line up. Now, with 8.3 being in the CDN, I would expect Blizzard to announce a live stream in the very near future. Indeed, patch 8.2 established that format with its stream debut being highly successful, essentially feeling like a miniature BlizzCon presentation. Now, it is always possible that 8.3 would actually be the focus of BlizzCon, but I think, I think this early timing of it hitting the CDN does cast doubt on that, and I think that does make the live stream route a lot more probable. Now, this also means that I think we're set for a BlizzCon that is focused on the next expansion, and, that'll be fun. Blizzard will have to avoid talking about details of the 8.3 ending, so that'll be awkward, but I suppose doable. That's something that has been done before, with Cataclysm and Mists of Pandaria being announced before the current expansion's final patch had been released. Indeed, we're running on pretty much an identical clock to the Wrath of the Lich King days. Remember, the patch 3.3 released a month after BlizzCon, and that was the BlizzCon that announced the Cataclysm.
That's great, but it'd be nice if that means that, we won't have 9 or 10 months of the last raid.
So I do wonder if that means we're set for an expansion that's actually a bit more like out of left field, one that's a bit more disconnected from the current story. And honestly, if that was the case, there's nothing I'd love more. I think it would be tiresome to move from all of this Sylvanas to a bit of an Azoth and then just back to Sylvanas for the next expansion. I think that would just be a bit tiring. Something new.
Well, they can't just have her be like, Team Rocket's blasting off again. And then, they'll see what's really coming. And then the next expansion comes out, and they're like, Sylvanas who? Like, they have to finish the story. I mean, realistically, they have to finish the story. Like, I agree with Bellier. I think that, it'd be cool if they went in a different direction. But also, you spent like 3 fucking years doing this. Like, finish the fucking story. Like, come on, guys.
New and fresh, I think, would be very welcome. Perhaps, give us some breathing room from the Battle for Azeroth cast of characters. I think that would be really good. I mean, hey, Illyria and co haven't had much to do, so why not travel off to space? Or maybe discover a new culture hidden beyond the known world of Azeroth.
Go to the moon. Cool.
As for 8.3, well, I think it's almost certainly N'Zoth. I think the only question is to what degree Ashara will be involved, whether she'll be on our side or not, and if Blizzard are going to have Sylvanas be involved. Then there's also puzzling out what the new zones are going to be. I think the Dragon Isles are a very obvious suggestion. They've been hinted at since 8.0. Rathian has returned. We've known that Rathian's been looking for the Dragon Isles, so...
I want the Dragon Isles to be a part of an expansion, man. They've just been such a big fucking deal for they've been in the game since vanilla. Wow, man. I want to see the Dragon Isles be a big fucking deal, not just a patch. I mean, like Argus, I think that Argus could have been really awesome, but it was just like it just missed the mark in a few different ways. Like Argus was good in a lot of ways. It was good in more ways than it was bad, but the ways that it was bad made it really, really bad.
It could be that. Now, whether Blizzard pulls an 8.2 and gives us a second zone, well, we'll just have to wait and see. Regardless, though, I doubt it'll be long before we know. Overall, I think it's an exciting time for World of Warcraft. We've got Classic, which has done super well. Blizzcon is going to reveal a new expansion. And 8.3, I estimate, will be a really good patch. Sure, it is going to live under the shade of Battle for Azeroth's past, right? We can't get past that. But if it is going to improve on the already solid 8.2, then I think it would be a really wonderful patch. Plus, seeing Blizzard's art team take on N'Zoth,
I think they're going to be able to make it better, right? I think 8.3 is going to be good. Like, I promise I'll play 8.3, right? I will do an 8.3 stream. I will talk about it. I will cover the patch. And as the patch comes out and as the expansion comes out, obviously we'll transition more into doing like some live server stuff too, because I don't want to make it to where people think that my stream is just about Classic WoW. I love current WoW. I love Classic WoW. I love BC. That's actually pretty much it. But those three things I like a lot.
I mean, yeah, that would be pretty darn exciting. And then sticking on the topic of the near future, BlizzCon's virtual ticket has been announced. This year's rewards for Warcraft are a Saurfang Murloc and a Sylvanas Murloc, plus some Wendigo pajamas. Now, this is kind of interesting because all of these are unlocked instantly if you purchase the ticket. The ticket has remained at last year's pretty darn expensive $49.99 price point. Interestingly, though...
Oh my god, Blizzard is so smart. So they made the price $10 more last year because they knew people would still pay it to play Classic. So now, because they're not going to lower the price, they've already gotten that price in people's minds with the added value. So they're keeping the same price that they had last year without adding the value that they would have this year of playing the game. Now, the way that they can redeem this, here's the way they can redeem this right now, is that as soon as they announce Diablo 4, and everybody knows they're going to announce, well, you guys know what I'm saying, right? They're going to announce Diablo 4. The moment they do that, they say, yo, you want to play the game? Log on. If you have a Battle.net account that has a virtual ticket on, download the fucking client for the beta and log on and play D4. My dick would get so hard. So hard.
This actually marks the second time in just a few weeks that Blizzard have sold us a transmog set. Now that's of course after they retired the transmog helms last winter. Of course with the Recruiter Friend archaeology themed one. Now I've got to wonder if this is them testing the waters because, well, I mean, a full Mog set for BlizzCon, that's more than the capes that we got last year. And let's be real here, visuals sell. That's what so many modern games are really making their money off, including many other Activision Blizzard titles, ranging from Crash Team Racing to Call of Duty to Overwatch to Heroes of the Storm. I've got to wonder if we're going to see things like...
Is the new COD game good? Is it good or not? If some people are saying yes, then it's probably actually good. Most people love to hate COD, so if anybody's saying it's good, then it's actually probably good.
These Wendigo pajamas actually just appear in the in-game store at some point. I mean, just look at how successful and large
I just want to play
Final Fantasy
Halo,
14
honestly.
store has been. Blizzard are surely going to want some of that money. Anyway, as for the con itself, well, it's clearly going to be a big one. We're almost certainly going to have Diablo 4 be announced, and there's also a high chance of Overwatch 2. Then the next WoW expansion is almost a certainty. I'm expecting basically more announcements than really any other year, and I think that is something that's realistic. Now, scuttlebutt is that Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2 almost made it to last year's BlizzCon, especially D4. So unless, say, Overwatch 2 has been rebooted internally since, I find it hard to see, them not being there. I think D4 is almost a certainty. Then there's also Warcraft 3 Reforged. I mean, remember how they announced the summer release date? Well, summer, by the way, has came and went. Now, if I were betting, I would say they'll drop that like a week after BlizzCon. Either that or they will announce it for next year with its scope.
Dude, I'm so happy, man. Like, there's so much shit that we have to play. Like, we have Classic, we have BFA, we're going to have Warcraft 3 Reforged, we're going to have Diablo 4, we're going to have Overwatch 2 or whatever the fuck that is supposed to be. Like, this is going to be awesome. Like, I mean, no, really, it is a great time to be a Blizzard gamer. Like, it is. Well, it will be in a month from now, right? But even now, it is. And we're going to have fucking Halo, dude. This is awesome. This is good. I'm happy, man. I'm actually happy. I know, Overwatch 2 is going to suck. You haven't even played it, dude. Listen, I am a former Bastion main in Overwatch. If that tells you how good I am. And I'm excited for it. I want to see what the game's going to be, dude. I want to see, yeah, I was a Bastion main. Like, I was, dude. I was good at it, man, dude. Yo, I was a god. Like, I will do it. Listen, boys, I will do an Overwatch stream. I need to download the game because I haven't played it in 2 years, right? But I'll download the game. I'll show you guys how I can play Overwatch like a literal fucking god, okay? Overwatch 2 was leaked to be a PvE game. Good. That's what I like more. I have a pretty good idea on probably what it might be, and I'm very excited. I am extremely fucking excited about a lot of these releases and everything. Guys, it's going to be fucking amazing. I'm super excited.
Being expanded past what was initially announced. Overall, though, that's what's going on with Virtual Ticket, plus my thoughts on BlizzCon. TLDR, I think it's going to be a very
I want to go to
BlizzCon
just to see
it. Then
it.
next, we do have some excellent Classic news. So, Blizzard have kept their word, and they are going to be bringing Classic servers down to one single layer. Now, the list of realms that are on a single layer, you know, obviously it's growing. Yeah. It doesn't cover every realm right now, but it is great to see it happen. Layering, of course, could be exploited, as we recently covered on the news, and it also had a number of knock-on effects that, well, they weren't like authentic to the Classic experience. Now, I do think that layering was worth the cost, though, given just how colossal the launch of Classic was. That's not all for Classic, though. We do have some great news. Blizzard have indicated when Phase 2 is going to kick off. So, in an interview with PC Gamer, Ian Hazzikostas said that they aim to release Phase 2 before the end of 2019. Now, if we're to assume that it'll be after BlizzCon, then, yeah, it's likely going to be November/early December, which, I mean, is a fairly obvious guess. Now, content-wise, I think it's going to be really great. So it brings Kazakh, Azuragos, and Dire Maul as like its main bits of content. Essentially, it's the content from vanilla patch 1.3. Now, these world bosses, of course, would not work with layering. The whole point is that you've got like one world boss per server. Ian actually said that all realms will be on a single layer within weeks, and that's going to be with that being achieved, they'll be able to push Phase 2. Now,
I still believe Phase 2 will be the golden age of Classic WoW. It will be the golden age of Classic WoW, dude. Like, I mean, there's going to be no BGs. It's all world PvP. There's a few raids out. There's the world bosses that you fight over. It's the open world. It's the broad open horizons. And it's going to be fucking amazing.
Experientially, this is going to be a really strong phase. So, Azuragos, doesn't spawn often, and defeating him is often a massive slog, especially on a PvP realm, as teams are going to be like competing with each other to take him down. Then, of course, Kazakh is more challenging. Like, it's a tighter fight. It's got a pretty tight enrage timer to contend with. It's a very hard fight. One that, of course, originally led to our good friend Kazakh routinely deleting the population of Stormwind. Now, as for Dire Maul, well, it's a real treat because you'll be able to do the legendary tribute run, which is just an incredibly cool bit of content. So overall, I think people are going to love Phase 2, and if you'd like to learn more about patch 1.3 as it was way back then you can check out our video on it. Then next up, another funky topic. So patch 8.2.5 changed honor gains from mercenary mode and epic battleground quests. Now, these are both things that help people progress towards their battleground essence at a faster rate. Of course, that's an essence that was very good outside of PvP for many classes.
It's going to take forever,
its absence was noticed. Now, Blizzard, seeing that these things were a bug, just removed them. Now, this led to quite a backlash, which then led to Blizzard nerfing the honor requirement, which certainly is the right thing to do.
Oh, wait, really?
Now, the timing here is strange. Blizzard changed.
Wait, what? Let me read it. Rank 3. What's rank 4? So rank 4 essences remain unchanged. So rank 4 is now harder to get. What a cock-ass, dog shit, piece of garbage game, dude. Fuck this game. What the fuck, man?
Right thing to do, I think. Now, the timing here is strange. Blizzard changed the honor requirement via a hotfix like a week after the patch initially changed Merc mode honor gains, and indeed, it seems like Blizzard rushed their hotfix out after Wowhead's coverage of the epic battleground quest change. Well, at least that's what one of Wowhead's writers thinks, and I'm inclined to agree given how things actually played out. Overall, though, I think it's the usual Blizzard problem-solving mentality. Certainly, I think it's an area where they could maybe calm down a little bit, bit because it's often led to them removing either fun things for the game from the game or things that things that players have kind of done to get around something they didn't particularly like, maybe because it wasn't that well designed. And sometimes with Blizzard, just problem solves those things away. People are left with a system that at its core isn't really that satisfying. So I think that's kind of what happened there. It's an awkward enough situation. I think generally speaking, Blizzard could do just, they could do with just being a little bit more close to the ground when it comes to how they deal with these sort of more touchy topics of the player base. But anyway, there we have it. Quite the week, especially for our team because, 75% of us got really hit by it's either a cold or a flu. I mean, some of us are harder than others, but it was really quite the week. Now, content-wise, I want to fill you in on what the plan is. So the first episode of Sylvanas and the Blood Plague special are up on Patreon now. Sylvanas is going to hit YouTube tomorrow. I then have two more parts of that series, 3 in total, plus another planned related video. One that's going to pull in Bolvar, so that'll be really fun. I've then got 2 rough scripts penned on the clash between in-game storytelling and transmedia narrative, and as well one that is about creating stories that elevate the player's experience within the context of an MMO, with really contrasting WoW's modern character-driven storytelling.
I actually really want to watch that. I feel like the storytelling in vanilla WoW was a lot better, even though it wasn't the focus. In a way, I felt like it kind of was like Dark Souls, where it would kind of entice players to go out and seek out the stories. And because they went to seek them out themselves, the stories were more important to them.
With more traditional MMORPG and RPG storytelling, especially in cases where you are not the champion. Then also Jared, as one of our new writers, is also doing a really fun video inspired by Warcraft 3 Reforged. It's basically going over all aspects of the lore that Blizzard have retconned, since War 3, and it speculates on how Reforged is going to change the story. After all, we do actually know that while the missions are staying the same, Reforged is actually retelling the story to be in line with the modern game, so I assume in line with Chronicle. Which certainly will be something. So overall...
Wait, so they're changing... Wait, what the fuck? They're changing the story in Reforged? I hope they don't do that.
There's a lot going on. And a big thank you to everyone over on Patreon for the Druid month. That was massive. We're currently working, getting everything packed up and sent off now. And I'm also happy to announce that it's Priest month. And really, that's the best way to support the channel. And also get some cool stuff in return, which I think is very important for us, that, if there is a tier like that, of that size, that we really do want to be providing actual legit value back. So there's that going on. Anyway, with all that said, I've got lore to write, so I'm going to go and do that. Thank you very much for watching this video. And
make it more in line with the current story. Okay, that's fine. They changed story with Chronicles anyway. Already ruined. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's pretty true. Yeah, that is pretty true. That is true. Let's see here. Is there anything interesting to look at here? Starfang Murloc, he sure has changed. Yeah, he got resurrected as a Murloc, of course. So let's look right now. I want to go ahead and just put something on. And we'll look at a few of these males, too, because I missed out on this, okay?